Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how are you all doing? I am Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, you can see right now we have ourselves a brand spanking new map, and it's massive because we have a 3v3 for you today. Now, while I butcher the name of this Belarusian city, this map is Reykjavik, which anyone out there who knows how to actually say it, please feel free to give me an audio file. But according to Google Translate, that's what I got. But Rang, who's fighting and what are they bringing to the game?
On left hand side in blue, we have Stiff Lizard as Trinity Panzer, Balance, Kaiser Sose as 5th Panzer, Juggernaut, Davs as 20th Panzer, Balanced, and on the right hand side, as the Soviets, Task Force, Task the 4th as 2nd Armor, Balanced, Fingerfarben, 2nd, Balanced, and Yaska, 9th Cossacks, Balanced.
Look at the top here. We do have finger fob, and like you said, it's gonna be that second guards against the 5th Panzer. We've seen that matchup before.
We've seen that matchup a lot.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
tell us more about that matchup. I mean,
It's
go for it.
just got big bloody tanks from the 5th, and then from the Soviets, it's a lot of T-34s with maybe an ISU-152 thrown in.
Indeed. Okay, meanwhile, over here, as we go further and further south, of course, like we said, we have... who's matching up against that... Oh my gosh, we got two 20th Panzers, so who's going to match up against the 9th Cavalry?
Seems like 9th is going
Stiff Lizard,
down
I guess?
south, down
Oh,
south,
Stiff
which
Lizard,
makes
okay.
which makes sense because that's the town and they're the infantry division. Even though they will have a little bit of a hard time in an open ground engagement because 9th Cavalry, Cossacks, not really good in open ground. But going for the town is still a pretty good bet, especially considering kind of the rest of the map. Maybe the middle here would have been better, but nonetheless, they got a really good deployment into this like northern area of the river by the railway road.
The train station.
Train station, that's what I was trying to say. The
I
choo-choo
know.
stop.
Exactly, don't know where Choo-Choo go. Now we have intercept troopmen that are just finding themselves getting wrecked. 2 squads down. Do I hear 3? 3 squads go down! That's not what you want to have happen early on in the fight.
No, that's fantastic ambush there from Yashaka. It's exactly what you need in that sort of engagement.
Well, it is interesting to know right now, looking to the north-hand side, we are going to see there's a Pack 40 that's keeping 6 different tanks at bay on the absolute northern tip of the road. And like we said already, that's going to be a juggernaut. So Kaiser Soze is going to have his work cut out for him. But you know, he's a fearsome gang leader, so I'm sure he'll find a way to make the Russians think he doesn't even exist at all.
Yeah. Yeah, our ultimate from Finger, it'd probably be better to spread out your T-34s just a bit. If you zoom in enough, I mean, yeah, they're very tightly together, those T-34s. Jeez Louise.
Wow.
That is extremely tight. Imagine if there was a 2,000 kilogram bomb heading their destination, they would not be having a good time.
Yeah, but of course, and mortars are falling long. Is that mortars? Yeah, we got two 120 mil, 120 mil stovepipes. But the Soviets have also seen the danger with those that Pack 40 that's kind of hanging on out. So they're dropping some of their own mortars on top of that.
Yeah, fast bike mortars, and honestly, its T-34 push will probably penetrate pretty far. The Pack 40 down is a second Pack 40, but I don't think that's going to be enough against many bloody T-34s. So this is a pretty damn good offensive. Hey, we got smoke being dropped by the Soviets to screen the T-34s. Not enough to block the Pack 40 line of sight, but still, it's a really good. I really love seeing people use smoke.
Well, I was going to say, we've looked further south about a kilometer or two. Are going to see the Russians are trying to shove their way through this thin copse of trees right by that set of low barns. And it looked like they were about getting ready to do that. Unfortunately, the Panzerschreck that was there did nothing but die bravely.
All the way down south?
Inside that little copse of trees as well. But down south, we are getting ourselves a bit of a furball. One Soviet lag going down, and we've talked about these guys. These guys are not really a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, they're not the best things I've I find. I mean, they were right, but the German Messerschmitts I usually find a little bit more. Uh, I mean, I guess they're both pretty equal looking at them statistically. But I just feel like do lag a little bit behind. It's just, I don't know.
They're nowhere near as hefty as they should be. I will give you that.
Yeah, yeah.
Worth noting in the meantime as well, up north, that second Pack 40 to quote you, has been doing God's work. We have completely disabled one tank,
What
killed
the
the crew on another
hell?
one, transmission damage on the
Oh,
third,
yeah,
and now we have Peagrams moving in to kind of clean that up. So it's
yeah,
going to be an excellent opportunity to get some points here.
yeah. And the Panzer IV's backing up has definitely helped out quite a bit in stopping the Soviet armor from making too much headway over here. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, that T-34 push is going to a row, but he kind of ran into that tight choke point, and the Panzer Grenadiers coming in. They're not going to do too great in a forest with Automachikis, yo.
That's true. This PPS is going to absolutely wreck them. That's happening right now.
Yeah.
Actually, they've been wounded so badly that they dropped all the squads almost before they surrendered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely insane.
Checking back down to the south, the Germans have just pounded flat that entire train yard.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going for the Stalingrad route here. We have 81mm stovepipes dropping firepower like crazy. And, ooh, this is interesting. The Panzerjäger RSO, south on the southern bank of that river. I don't think we've seen too much of the Panzerjäger RSO.
No, it's essentially a German tractor with a Pak 40 slapped on top. It's very slow, but it's a really cheap Pak 40. It's a 35-point Pak 40, where Pak 40 I think is regularly like 50.
Or 60.
Yeah, it's somewhere around that line. So it's really good bang for your buck. It's just when it gets shot at, it can't really run away. So.
But, that's the
Yeah.
case with most anti-tank, to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, and it's also really cost effective. You pretty much kill any tank with that thing, you already paid yourself off, which is nice.
Unfortunately, this one is not to be. It dies
Nope.
before actually getting any kills.
Yeah.
And all along the front line, we're getting tons and tons of infantry just throwing themselves at each other in mad rushes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Automachiki, those guys are, well, in this forest area, I feel like Lakiavici is just really playing well to that strength.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going pretty bloody well, honestly.
Trying to find any area where the Germans are throwing them back at all, and I'm not really seeing a whole lot. We have some Stahlstruppen in the center part of the map that are holding up decently well against them. That's only because they're using PPSs, and even then they're outnumbered usually 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, the Russian PPS-8 squads, especially when none of these German players are really using Stern Pioneers, which are usually a pretty good counter against PPS-8 squads. Maybe have them in B-phase, hopefully, because that'll definitely be their best bet in trying to take these forest fights. But the hill in the middle is pretty solely under Russian control, which is advantageous for obvious reasons, high ground and all of that. And looking up north, the Russians do manage to hold the forest at least, but I mean, there's one Tiger, one Panther, and one Panzer IV on the other end, so I don't think they're going to be making too much progress up north. At the same time, the Russians are dropping a lot of artillery. A lot of smoke, actually. Both sides using lots of smoke.
Now, I also want to call out, we are going to have ourselves with more of those infantry with the anti-tank grenades, but there's a P-Grunt squad to at least walk point and take the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know you and I discussed this the last time. I've been getting some comments about it as well. The whole idea of extending... Oh, wow, that was a gift wrap Studebaker right there.
I think he's just trying to defect.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Wow. Yeah, that was some sort of Osttruppen, work release program. You and I were talking about the idea of having greater range on those heat grenades, and it was interesting. One commenter that was talking about the fact that you're just trying to make sure you don't have tanks rushing into the middle of the buildings. And I thought to myself, that's actually a very canny remark.
Yeah.
The anti-tank grenades are there to kind of be like, okay, well, you don't want to throw tanks in the middle of a town and just have them be able to wreck everything.
Yeah, I mean, they do stop in town fights, which are good, but in more forestry engagements, when you're getting into light forest where you think you could be able to ambush a tank, you can't really do that with an anti-tank grenade. Yes, I understand
Yes.
like the whole range thing,
Yes.
but it's also, I mean, if we're really getting into bloody realism arguments here, a tank wouldn't be able to spot an infantry unit sneaking up behind it immediately because tanks are pretty bloody blind. So
True.
I mean,
By the same
yeah.
token, there's nobody I know who'd be able to throw a anti-tank grenade 60 meters accurately.
I think from a gameplay, this is my personal opinion, it really should be upped a little bit just to make them more useful, because they just seem, apart from either you're heavily microing them in towns to kill tanks, or pretty much just rushing up all the tanks to try to get a kill, you're not going to have a good time. Speaking of tanks, Boita Stalin down south.
Yes, he was doing pretty well. He does have a damaged transmission, but he does exactly what he needs to do, which is again consider and continually just kind of be that area denial.
Yeah, and especially against Cossacks, which can't pen the bloody Boita Stalin. He's in a perfect spot, and he's just going to shut down anything that dare comes close.
That's good because he hasn't really taken any new ground at least, so that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah,
It is worth noting, however, that 20th Panzer Infantry is just still not having a good day. It could just not make any headway against this.
yeah. I mean, yeah, to be fair, yeah, Shaka is also Tars is a little bit helping on the hill. Do have the better infantry selection, so, and also the Sherman's a great fire support at killing infantry. It does make sense that he is completely wrecking the floor of Panzer Grenadiers, and do like his Shermans down south moving onto the hills. They're going to get into a lovely, like, reek spot of the German line here and potentially get some kills, especially on those flat guns.
Well, as another kind of follow-up to what we were talking about too, I also have a user-submitted reason for the reason for MCHA.
Oh!
Supposedly,
Yeah.
the M4, the 4 in the, Cyrillic alphabet looks more or less like the letter Cyrillic for cha. So supposedly, M-cha.
Ah!
I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds bloody good. I'm going to
Yeah,
stick with it.
I'll stick with that. That seems pretty reasonable.
Now, what I don't like here is I don't like the fact that Stiff Lizard keeps throwing infantry with absolutely no anti-tank right past where he knows there are tanks.
I mean,
Not a fan of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's that trooping, I guess, Gotta get rid of Yo's reserve somehow. He's got some Panzer IIIs being brought up to try and deal with these Shermans. At least.
True. Well, the T-34 is moving in as well. Those are a couple minutes behind the front lines yet.
Yeah, Tars sending in his tank reserves to help out. And that should be enough maybe to deal with the Panzer IIIs. So those are some rather heavily vetted P3s that are out of APCR shells now. So they're going to have a little bit harder time penning these Russian / American tanks.
Now, you were saying before about having Storm Pioneers in here. Yes, we actually have some Storm Pioneers coming from Davs. We have a cluster attack moving through on the center of town. So JU-87, there's 0 anti-air there. There's a couple of rinky-dink, 50 cals.
I was going for the IS run. Oh, T-4045, my bad. There's no IS run. And, yep. He's a dead tank.
Well, he lit up the red carpet, man. You gotta do something.
I know. That's a devastating, how it all drops. Devastating barrage.
Yeah, there is some kind of, scary beauty to that.
Yeah.
Actually, to the north, we actually are going to get another airstrike from the Russian side, though, and doesn't quite take out the Panther, but forces it back and gets its turret to stick.
Huh. That's a really interesting critical. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I never really thought, a tank could get critical hitted like that from a bomb, but that's pretty damn useful.
Well, I think of it this way: maybe the heat melted a tiny bit of the armor and it congealed again, or a mechanism just got worked up somehow by the shockwave.
Oh yeah. It was, I mean, I think if you drop bombs on anything, stuff is bound to break.
Yeah, that's a fairly canny remark, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd be interested to know where the other Boita Stalin is. I see it. So Davs has it just to the west of his Bayo Bakhtur squad in the center part of the map. Unfortunately, he's too far removed to be able to do much of anything. And I think where Davs, I'd like to see that bombing run be hit on that, that little compound there, that nice little Fortress Moscow that's going on.
Yeah, I'm having a feeling that Davs doesn't really want to spend too much effort taking back that hill. As, you know, it seems to be rather difficult for him to take. He does have at least the flags on the southern end, or not southern, but the bottom end of the hill at least, so he's not losing too much in terms of points. But I'm wondering where he's really sending his forces. He's got some reinforcements coming in. And I have a feeling he's going to try to move in the open ground in, like, the southern middle area of the map.
Which does not make a whole lot of sense necessarily. I mean, like, there is that one flag there, but if you look at, like you said already, the southern approach, where we're having T-34-76s and more MCHUs moving on in, and geez, we also have Zis guns galore. Yeah, you do not want to be moving over that open ground. That makes zero sense.
Yeah, it's pretty much a death sentence, so yeah, it's just going to be a fight over the front line, as it's so close to being into German hands, that flag. Oh, so close. Just literally
whispers.
2 meters. Something along those lines.
Well, and the Germans got to do something. They're almost down to 50% already, which is just obviously not exactly what you want to have happen.
Yeah.
Almost as much as not wanting to have your ersatz troop and move across the open field. But yet, Dave's is telling us, you know what? I don't ever like them much anyway. Yeah. Sorry, Stiff Lizard. I apologize.
Yeah, I really love how the tanks have the black billow and smoke coming out of them, as we can see in like the southern hilltop. It's an absolute massacre.
Yes.
That is just an absolute massacre of pretty much any respectable vehicle that dare try to go on top of that hill. Because they've all got killed. The Panzer IIIs, the T-34s, the MCHUs, the half-tracks, they're dead. Everything's dead. No one's alive. It's terrible.
This is a true Russian story here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slight damage, the transmission damage, destroyed. That thing just got fixed, man. It just had it back at the shop.
Yep.
Ammo explosion.
Oh. Yeah, it was like a damn. I believe it was a side shot.
It had to have been.
Yeah, looking at the angle and everything, I think that's definitely a side shot. But that's a huge kill.
And the northern Boyta Stalin, he is desperate to kind of go and keep guys back, but no transmission damage on him. Loader knocked out there as well. Now, I do want to call out northern side. We have 100mm SK-18s and LEFH 105 howitzers, and they have completely put the Russian artillery park to flight.
Yeah.
So bizarrely enough, there's absolutely nothing here for the Soviets. There's a metric butt ton over here for the Germans, and the Germans are not taking advantage of it, which is a bit of a shame. Here's a cluster bombing run. He's gonna die, but he does get at least one kill. He's gonna go down. I almost guarantee that. Yep, there he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, he only killed one T-34-85, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so
exactly.
Not cost efficient.
And IL-2s are coming on in, going after the German artillery park, so we're gonna see some death and destruction pretty quickly, I would imagine. Oh no.
The Germans have pretty good... Oh, wait. They get one sun rocket off. Doesn't kill the Hummel.
No, and that SDKFZ quad mount is doing some pretty decent damage there.
Yeah, I think like the quad-mounted quad-mounted AA in SD44 was, pretty scary. In SD2, they're double scary. They're super scary.
Southern side, by the way, you can see that brief extension into the German lines is going to get deeper and deeper as we have that death squad of 4 tanks calmly just kind of going forward. Nothing can really keep them away from anything. And I think these Ju-87s will try to kill them or die trying.
Yeah. I really like how Yasko's been playing this map as ninth, as he completely ignored the southern town. He just let that go into German control. And that makes... Oh, there's the clusters.
Yes, they are.
Those tanks. Oh! Yeah. Oof. Yeah, it was... That's how you cluster bomb. And then he's got the Stuka coming in to clear everything up afterwards.
And he's the guy that's going to die. So despite the fact... Oh, wait, he's going to take him out with death?
Nope.
He freaked him out a bit, though.
Yeah. So close, so close.
And one of the D5s. Oh no. Okay, so one of the D5s does pay with his life.
Yeah. But as I was saying, I really like how Yaska has been playing this map, as He's been using the CQC of the Cossacks in this hill, where on top of the hill it's a pretty close quarters engagement, and he's completely ignored the southern town, as this open ground hell, don't even bother fighting over it. It's not going to be fun. You want to try to stick in the forest when playing Cossacks, and yeah, this is going really well, and also Tars is helping him out quite a bit of those T-34s and whatnot, so it's a really good push, and if they can capture this hill fully, it really allows them to put a big dent in the German lines.
Well, I'm trying to figure out now. First of all, we're getting a massive wave of reinforcements of Yashka. Yashka's bringing in everything in a bag of chips. Or latkes, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Kazakhs galore, MCHAs galore. We have these 76 mil howitzers that are just, field guns that are pounding the front lines. And I'm trying to take a look at the overall spread of flags. And the flags themselves, I mean, I feel like either the southern of the right side or the north of the left side should be a fairly easy place and way to hold on to your territory.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Two or three flags before the river. I'm telling you right now that I would like to see Kaiser Sose really get himself up and running. And now that we're into Phase C, there should be no question about it. He should absolutely wreck.
Yeah, he's got the huge juggernaut income. He's playing bloody 5th Panzer. And there's a big open field between him and the enemy. So that's perfect for all his heavy tanks. But Finger is just keeping him out of Finger's Bay at one Zisgun is doing quite a bit of damage there. And apart from that, that's really... I mean, the other T-34s as well, with the freestyle veterancy. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah, but look at their line of sight. They're on the backside of the hill.
Yeah, not, and he's artillerying them, I believe, so that's just going to stress him out a little bit. So yeah, Kaiser really should be trying to make some sort of push up north and capture some flags. All he needs to do is capture one flag to bring us back to 50-50.
Indeed. Now, we do have some T-34-85s being brought in the center part of the map, and they're engaging Daves or Davs, Martyrs, and P4s rather effectively and efficiently. Both ways that you don't want to have happen, and those 85s are quite scary.
Yep. Especially the amount you can get, and also bumping up the veterancy, the good old leaders. They're pretty bloody powerful.
They got another target as well. The Soviet push to the south has been cleaned up pretty effectively. And really, not really any kind of scariness in there anymore. And worth noting, we have talked about how weak the 9th anti-tank is from an infantry standpoint. And we're seeing evidence of that now. Yes, we do have some Kazakhs moving on in with the PTRDs. But that's not going to be enough.
No, it's not. It does have some anti-tank guns on the hill at least, and now the Shermans are coming in, so... Maybe, I think the Shermans... Yeah, it does outnumber those Panther 4s by quite a bit. But Panther 4s are also the veterancy in a pretty good defensive position, as well as the Marder run here now, so... I guess we'll have to see.
Wow, artillery! I think artillery took out a tank. That was surprising back there. Anyway... transmission damaged on one of them already. They're getting nice and spread, and that, honestly, if they take out that Kongrati, that's really going to severely hamper the combat effectiveness. Looking to the north, we actually are getting ourselves set up for a massive furball. We have, or slightly less massive now that we have 3 Soviet airplanes falling back. There were just a bajillion and a half Me-109s coming through, a couple of Focke-Wulfs as well. What a shame. That could have been an amazing air show.
What a shame indeed.
Now, I am looking back. I continue to admit I would have liked to have seen carpet bombing hammer that row house, and it's not doing a whole lot, unfortunately.
Nope, and... Yeah, Soviets are still holding on to that middle hill pretty easily. I'm thinking it'd be pretty interesting if Tars tried to push down the hill. I understand why he's not, because he's pretty concentrated in fighting over the southern hill, helping out Yasko a bit. But I know it.
Feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, Sith Lizard has a pretty good defensive hold on this southern hill. It feels like, I mean, if we're looking at it right now, he doesn't actually have any tanks up here, but he still has a lot of Panzer Grenadiers. And you still have to kill all of them.
I thought for a while there was some Russian artillery Yeah, there is. Why the heck are they not engaging? Okay, they're
Yeah.
supposed to be engaging them. They're engaging at strange angles though. Ooh, that pack. Okay, that's part of it too. It's a pack 40
Oh,
about a kilometer and a half to the
yeah.
northwest. That's a beautiful spot.
That's a lovely spot. Yeah, it's gonna get 1 MSHA. Easy peasy.
But you know what? If he turns the flank on this infantry, he's inside with that other MCHA.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, okay. The Panzer Grenadier Fuhrer does have the Panzerfaust, so he could get the shot off. Actually, no, he's a bit too far away. So
Yes, he is.
yeah,
And he's out in the open too.
Yeah, and the MSHA is pretty safe from any Panzerfaust from really hitting him from his position. So he's just gonna hold on to the flag all by his lonesome.
Now his own artillery fire is a different story altogether.
Oh yeah.
Now another look to the north. Kyozo Sosei continues to get a ton more of infantry, and at long last, he has completely pounded part of this town area into the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scratch team of Automachiki, a full squad, and another far less full squad. Only thing between him and the railhead. That's. I feel like Kaiser Sose has maybe not been playing his income appropriately.
Yeah, he has always look up north. He has
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. I just want to seven tanks here, and they're doing bugger all. I mean,
yeah.
You need to push now somewhere. Your German heavy tanks, to spread them out a little bit, push over an open field. You're pretty much going to be good. But when you're bunched up, right?
Oh, Katyusha. Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
Katyusha, this is going to completely destroy the attack before it even starts.
Kills 2 tanks without
them freaks the other 4 out.
To do anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if he had those tanks a little bit down south where the Panzer Grenadiers are going to clear out forest or town, I should say, he could probably be doing a much more effective push. I mean, the flags are a little bit more easier to capture along the road, and he could help support the middle hill, but no.
Well, let's also talk about this too. There's now 5 Su-76s, all engaging that one area right there. So that way.
Yes.
And okay, that engine stall. I thought we were gonna get an actual bombing run on them. We still might, or not.
Nope.
Yeah, Su-76 takes out the traitorous ammo truck, and while we are going to lose the PE-283, again the German attack is completely solid. Kaiser Sose has missed his opportunity by about 5 minutes.
Yeah, he really has. And if you're looking like down in the northern middle area, he's pushing a bit of Panzer Grenadiers, and this would be a pretty good push if he had some of his tanks backing him up. And Davs is actually trying to push onto the hill now in the middle a little bit, just with some pioneers, so it's probably not going to be enough to do. I definitely need some tank fire support to help out. And then that southern hill, Jesus Christ, it's just more smoke, more dead tanks. It's a bloody massacre.
As a new one gets added into it, a T-70 this time. That poor guy had no chance.
Oh, poor bugger.
Worth noting, though, the T-70 is, I think, much more fairly powered. I'm thinking back to just like not Call of Duty, Company of Hero days. The T-70 in that is just god-awful against any main tank. And here, actually, it's a respectable thing. It's like an M3.
Yeah, it has the APC, it has trove APCR shells, and they do 100mm pen, which is really good. And with 60mm frontal armor, that's only 15 less than a Panzer IV. It's a really nice little tank. It's surprisingly really quite good. You just can't really get a lot of them because you can only get them in the recon or command rows. Hopefully it'll be a division that has them as proper tanks.
It's gonna be one of those penal divisions, but so yes, the Germans do have themselves that flag behind enemy lines, but we now going to have 6,000 kilograms of bombs fall upon them, or 600 kilograms of bombs rather. And with that, since our Automochiki squad is pinned down as well, Might be up to this one last brave man, Orlovsky, to come on in and clean things up. Oh, never mind. He's getting some allies here. PPS Sapiri, some more IL-2s. Yeah, these guys are toast.
If you can knock out the leader. Oh no, never mind. Doesn't even matter. On a rocket plane, yeah. Some. Oh no, he's stand up his own Avtomatika. Oh, the Germans are gonna maybe just survive then. Maybe? No. The Avtomatika are moving up still. But yeah, I mean, the more reinforcements to the Germans are fairly certainly buggered. We've got an IS-152 being brought in as well. And that's gonna drop in big kabooms.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But finally, Kaiser's moving up some of his Panthers, but a little bit too late in that southern middle area. And also maybe a little bit too close. Spread them out just a little bit, you know?
Worth noting, the pioneers that you thought were going to be outgunned, between having Gebote-Ladungs and, well, a very, very minimum amount of anti-tank, they have seized that center forest, with the exception of just one M2A1.
Yep, and that M2 is about to run out of ammunition, so he is pretty much useless. So that's a pretty good push here.
Oh my gosh. PU-2Ss, there's just bombing runs galore, they're going after that hillside. Boom. Oh, and this is the furball of a century now. I wish I could just turn on just aircraft.
I love the air combat in this game so much now.
I can hear some of you screaming right now, Khan, focus on one thing at a time, but I can't. There's too much going on now.
Yeah, as you can clearly see, viewers, everything's getting shot down, mainly from the Russian side.
Yeah, but you know what? The Russians, they may not have great planes, but they got a lot of them.
Yeah, got a pretty good amount.
Those Me-109s are freaking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see all of them, unfortunately, still, in terms of kills, but I'd really like to know. There's got to be at least an instant ace out there today.
Yeah. That has to be. There must be. Oh, look, up north, the Su-76s are deciding to take the fight to the front.
Those little Katya.
Yep. Because you can use those Su-76s as tank destroyers. They're not the best tank destroyers, but it's still a tank destroyer.
Indeed. And where are they aiming now? They're aiming for the Wolframen. We didn't even see the Wolframen really fire. I mean, I know it did, but I wonder, again, I apologize for mine, and I'm sure Rennis has happened to you too. We are just bolting around like madmen trying to figure out where to look sometimes.
Yeah, this is a 3v3 match, so there's 3 times the amount of stuff we gotta keep an eye on compared to normal, so it's pretty bloody hard to, you know, get shots of everything interesting going on.
Yeah, Katya's firing to the north, yeah. And takes out 1 and forces 2 more back. Jeez. I'm actually surprised the Su-76ers are not concentrating fire on that formation of tanks moving across the open field. He can see them.
Yeah, this really wants that Wolframen dead. Oh no, he tried to send... Oh, he sent a bomber to hit the tanks. And, yep, pretty much shut them down. And the ISU-152 is also dropping in the big HE.
Oh, so he is. He's justifiably stressed, but that's going to be it. Mm-hmm. Germans get themselves knocked about quite a bit here. I'm not sure I'd call it a minor victory. That seemed a lot more dominant than a minor one.
It definitely seemed much more dominant. And looking, I mean, the kill list, it doesn't... The kill list is true, so it's the losses list. That's inaccurate. But looking at kills...
I think this is Gashka setting it on, because we're seeing a lot of Daves and Stiff Lizards.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing really too fancy. Yeah. Looking at losses... Yeah, it's nothing exactly too interesting, but... Yeah, that's a pretty good match. I really like the push on the Southern Hill. it almost got the full-on hill, but ended up just being a bloody slaughter.
That is certainly true. Other than that, though, Rang, do you have any other thoughts to share here?
None whatsoever. I just hope the next beta phase is soon.
Exactly. I can't wait for some more action going on here. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, we will catch you next time on Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.